Hello, and welcome to this series on office psychology. This is designed for smart people who unfortunately have messy work. Today we're going to do something slightly differently. This isn't going to be about formulas, features, and learning new tools today. This is about understanding why office work get messy in the first place, because most of the time it's not a lack of skill. It's the way our brains respond to pressure, decisions and uncertainty. And once you understand that, everything starts to make a lot more sense. Today, we're going to look at the psychology of working in an office, more of the why and less of the how. I feel bad for saying it out loud, but honestly, 9 times out of 10, the tool is not the problem. We often assume that being better at work means learning more tools, more techniques, more systems. But a lot of the time, the issue isn't knowledge, it's our behaviour. It's how we respond when we're busy, when we're overwhelmed, and when we're unsure of what to do next. Our brains are wired to look for the easiest, quickest option most of the time. And those most choices, repeated over time, are what creates messy files, full inboxes, and overcomplicated work. And so this session is about stepping back and understanding those patterns, understanding our deep-rooted why. Because once you can see those behaviours and recognise the feelings, you can start to change them. Let's have a look at file names. This might seem like a small thing, but it's a perfect example of how we think about time. When we name files poorly, it's usually because we're prioritising speed in the moment. We just want to save and move on. And this links to something called temporal discounting. We, and I include myself here because I too have spent nearly an hour looking for one blasted file, which I know exists somewhere. We value immediate convenience more than future clarity. So when we choose a quick, vague name now, we assume we're going to deal with it later. But later never comes. There is always more to do, and even if you do carve out time, the context in your mind has gone. A naming convention that felt logical at the time is now lost. So what feels like a time saver actually creates more work in the long run. So the shift here is to think slightly ahead. Name files so that they're clear without any extra context required. Use a consistent structure. Rename them immediately and do a quick clarity check. This isn't about being organised for the sake of it or becoming a slave to a routine. It's about reducing friction every time you come back to your work. I've provided 3 options here, all of which I have personally implemented. They work fantastically for me, and I'm sure they will do for you too. I hope you've found today's session helpful. If you take one thing, let it be this. Most of the challenges we face at work aren't technical, they're behavioural. They come from how we respond to pressure, decisions and uncertainty. And the good news is behaviour can be changed. Not all at once and not perfectly, but through small, consistent shifts. And those shifts are what make work feel clearer, calmer and more manageable. You can absolutely do this. Just take the first step. Thanks very much for joining me and have a great day.